Tranquil as a forest, but a fire within. Picture of Jacob and Jon Snow next to each other. Under Jacob, you're a wolf. Under Jon Snow, my wolf. You seen Finding Dory yet?
Nope.
Would recommend. Don't see it in 3D though. It's not worth 3D.
Okay.
I'd also actually recommend the Warcraft movie. Alright, I'm done waiting.
Okay.
If Bob shows up, Bob shows up. If not, Give it like 2 minutes and then we'll start. So you still doing ranked games?
I haven't done one in a while. But yeah, let's get this done.
Alright. Well, I tried. Alright. Ouch! Are you setting the scene or am I?
I'll set the scene.
Alright. First button.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the scene for Living World of Darkness Werewolf Venue. Today we have Heidi Trick Lawson, and it has been a rather exciting day for the fact that she has been up and about pretty much in a really hectic day. Today she is leaving the Sept of Two Harbors and by way of bus. And as one might guess, there is a fair bit of apprehension and clutter around the day, today being a rather busy day in New York, a Sunday no less. Individuals are coming to and fro. There is a lot, almost a microcosms of different nationalities, walks of life, creeds, sexualities, just walking around in this one terminal. And Heidi would understand that at this particular terminal, she would have to catch either the E, the 1, the 2, or the 3 uptown to get to Central Park. And you would know that the Sept that you left, they've given you enough money for, say, lunch and minor inconveniences, but nothing that is particularly, grandiose. You have enough for a MetroCard. And we can start us in there.
Well, after getting off the bus, after having dealt with, up until at least Chicago, dealt with a man who insisted on taking his shoes off a few seats back and having to deal with that smell for close to 8 hours. She is glad to at least be on her feet and moving. A sort of nondescript backpack on her back and a Oh, one of those little suitcases on rollers. One of the small ones, the kinds you can take on carry on if you were on a plane. Um, all the same, Heidi goes up to the fare card machine and starts to put money in.
It's pretty simple, rather straightforward. You hit a few buttons, they ask for your money, you insert your money, you get a little gold card with blue letters that says, Metro. And it lets you know that there's 275. And being that the fare is 275, you would understand that it's rather expensive to get around here, but not so much being that you get a free transfer. You would also know that looking on the announcements, it says that they are expecting delays on the E line, and the one and the two have been the no, excuse me, that the Uptown 6 train has been rerouted on the E line, pending construction.
Heidi looks at this with sort of a grimaced face, trying to make sense of it all. She looks up at the various all the charts and all the notices and bulletins. You know, where she comes from, public transport is not anything like this. It's a bus. And so she's trying to think of it more along the lines of a bus route.
All right, so give me with streetwise.
I can give you wits.
That's cute. All right, get it.
Okay. Out here. Character threads. Heidi Trickfossen. Alright, let's get it. Depending on difficulty too.
Fair enough. You understand that it's a minor inconvenience, but all in all, it's not the worst thing in the world. Um, it could, if you were really pressed for time, you could possibly hoof it to a bus stop if you really wanted to. But taking the train, it doesn't seem incredibly, inconvenient to you in your head right now.
Alright. Um, she takes a few minutes to make sense of it, and she sees that the train will need to be rerouted, so at some point she is going to have to get off and make a transfer, she's sure. But she'll take it in stride as much as she can, kind of take a breath, and,
As
nod to herself, and
as you make your way through like hallways, you see stands, halal carts set up, water vendors, and just a bunch of people going to and fro. Some people looking quite like yourself with book bags, um, holding out these are ridiculously large subway maps. Groups of what looks to be tourists huddled together, trying to make sense of it all. Other more incredulous New York City, pedestrians are kind of like almost shoving past them as in like, why the hell did you stop in the middle of the hallway? What's wrong with you? And as you make your way, you would notice very visibly that it's getting warmer. Not too sure what that could be at this point, but maybe it's the humidity and the fact that New York City, the way it's set up, it gets really humid really quickly, and there's not too many ways for natural air, especially when you're underground, to reach you, and you get this really really uncomfortable almost layer of sweat and stench that just kind of falls on your body as you make your way towards the train.
um, Heidi sort of grimaces at this very accurate description
Hmm.
of what it's like to be on the New York subway station or New York subway system in the middle of summer. So she'll take sort of the hoodie off and tie it around her waist, opting just to go in the Ramones T-shirt, and she walks up to the platform and stands against one of the subway columns, like one of the iron beams. Kind of looks around, wondering. I do wonder if this was in the Warriors movie or not. This station.
As you make your way, the you notice on the train platform, mice running through and from like the tracks. One seems to gotten a fairly large half of a bagel as it just kind of drags it along the subway tracks. It's kind of like amazing. A few tourists kind of take out cameras like "What the fuck, New York," as it's been hashtag as the the platform fills up with people. Um, it doesn't take too long as you hear the familiar whistling of like the horn as it blares through the tunnel, and you see the train pull in, and you see the conductor. He is irritated. He's wearing his uniform, opens the door. A few people run up to ask a few questions, here and there, where to go. He's, pointing in directions. He is obviously sweating. As you step onto the subway car, you would notice that there is no, and I say none, air conditioning. It is uncomfortable as shit. As it seems that in New York City, bathing and grooming has definitely fallen to the wayside. As the familiar smell of sweat, perspiration, God knows what else, seems to waft through the subway car. People pack in, and it is visibly uncomfortable. Wall to wall people, individuals taking out cell phones and all different types of paraphernalia to try to take their mind off of this ungodly, uncomfortable heat.
Oh, well, this is my life now. She says as she backs herself into a corner, putting her roller in front of her, and just keeps two hands on the handle and presses her backpack firmly against the rear wall.
All right, as that happens, it makes its way uptown, and it is a seemingly uncomfortable ride as people are going off, coming on, and the packedness of the car does not seem to be lessening. You overhear that there seems to be a midsummer festival that's happening somewhere on Central Park, and that a lot of people seem to be flocking to it. A collaboration of hip hop and pop music and some dance hall apparently seems to be happening at the festival. You smell the familiar smell of pot on the subway because apparently in New York nobody gives a fuck. And as that's happening, make me perception alertness.
Hop. 1, 2, 3, 5 dice. One success.
Um, it's maybe you're focusing too hard and too, you know, uncomfortably as the heat that's currently happening in the subway car. It is kind of on your body as your own body heat seems to be conducting a fair amount of heat onto you. So as your body is plastered up against the wall, you kind of feel like the conduction of your own body heat being conducted along the metal from the subway car,
Hmm.
and it's really uncomfortable as when you move, you feel your skin sort of stick to the subway car door as you move and shift. But out of the corner of your eye, you notice that one particular woman has a grimace on her face, and when the subway doors open, she bolts out of the car, almost knocking down two individuals. There are jeers and laughter.
What could I roll for read on this? It'd be alertness or empathy?
Empathy would be more so for a singular person. Streetwise would definitely give it to you. Um, I would give it to you. Give me a flat wits roll. You're not from here, so it's hard to pick up what's happening around you.
I got nothing.
Maybe she's just having a bad day. Maybe it's just the uncomfortable nature of being, in such tight, quarters. Some people can't handle it. Maybe the woman was claustrophobic. It's all possible. But she
Considering
definitely,
that, considering that Heidi is not too thrilled about the cramped quarters, she'll just chalk it up to the fact that probably a someone who just kind of had a moment of panic in a metal tube.
as you're on the last stop, uptown, um, east side, you hear the conductor say, the train goes to a halt in the middle of the tunnel. Make a perception alertness.
2 or 1. I'm sorry, 1.
You understand that there's an individual who is making his way through the car. We'll say that he is moderately attractive, but there's a certain glossiness that looks unfamiliar on him. Not too sure what that could be with first glance, but he is definitely going towards you.
Hmm. She is this guy directly looking at her?
It doesn't seem so at the moment, but it is definitely noticeable at this point.
Um, Go ahead and make a perception empathy if that's all right.
But
3 successes.
looking at this individual, usually when people are a little off, you've always had this hunch and have been able to pick up on it rather easily. This individual seems to be under the just the way he's moving and swaying in the car. It would make more sense if the car was in motion or even if it was moving. But the way he's kind of stumbling towards you, he is clearly under the influence of some type of a drug. Um, yeah, as he It's really hard to move in this cramped, confined space, but he kind of doesn't really lunge at you. He kind of trips, and he's kind of in front of you now.
Heidi just sort of looks at him. How close is he exactly?
You can definitely smell the really harsh smell of Jameson whiskey as it kind of assaults your nose. You don't have to roll for it. You also smell what seems to be regular perspiration and the faintest smell of Old Spice, as it seems to being overpowered by the funk.
Well, if he's not doing anything presently, and she's just going to just continue to keep to herself. There's not a whole lot she can do at the moment other than just stand there. There's not enough room for her to really jostle about without making kind of a scene.
All right. As the train creeps forward a few seconds, you hear, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a few minutes. There's train traffic. Sorry for the delay. We should be on your way momentarily once we hear back from the dispatcher. Doot, doot. As he kind of leans in towards you, my friends were like laughing, and as he kind of just every time he talks, you hear he opens his mouth, and there's that really strong, pungent smell of alcohol on his breath as he's kind of chuckling and laughing. And you're so pretty. As he starts chuckling and laughing again.
I know a few people that would say to the contrary of that.
But as he kind of puts his hand up on the window that's directly against your back, but I have to tell you, you're so pretty. My friends were telling me that you were so pretty. And as he kind of gets closer and he sniffs your hair, it is, tell me what Heidi does.
She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, takes a swallow. It's pretty cramped quarters in here. I would really hate to make a grown man cry in front of all of these people.
As, you see the jeering from his friends. You don't even have to roll for it. They seem to, at the corner of their eyes, they seem to be passing back and forth. To the corner of your eyes, you would almost swear that it looked like Skittles. But no, it was something else entirely, as they all seem to be sharing. And a lot of people, very common to New York City etiquette, are kind of not paying attention. Because the more you try to involve yourself in a situation, the more questions people tend to ask, and nobody wants to fight. So you notice that people definitely hear what's happening, they're sort of turning a blind eye to your certain circumstance. Make for me a perception alertness, please.
2.
I'm not sure if Heidi is one individual who is very prone to the male anatomy or seeing it in such a how should we say, close vicinity, but he sort of slams his fist next to your face. Doesn't exactly strike you, but you notice at the corner of your eye, his growing anticipation.
I'm gonna ask this just for labeling's sake later when I post the scene.
Yes, this is Black Dog.
God damn it! All right. Well, so then he's unsheathed in a way, huh?
He is not. There's no. It's that awkward point where you see like a grown man with an erection. It's awkward. It's awkward for everyone.
So he's pitching a tent.
Definitely.
And he just, how hard did he slam his fist into the wall? Was
It
this
was
sort of like him trying to post up off of it, or was this more of a hard enough to try and make her flinch?
perception, empathy.
That's a botch.
You think that this is. He's just obviously drunk and he's trying to be friendly, but he can't because he's drunk.
You know, perhaps if you were sober, this might actually be a conversation that I'd be really interested in taking up, but it seems like you need to dry out a bit.
As you say that, you see anger flash across his face. He is incredulent. As he will attempt to actually we'll do it this way. He raises his left hand and you feel a stinging sensation across your left cheek.
Just gonna go ahead and roll an initiative dice if I need to.
Please do.
7. I have a 12.
He is not combat ready, but as you feel the sting across your face, you feel a warmness kind of perk up in you. And, alright, what does Heidi do at this point?
Well, given the company that she grew up in,
Mm.
what she's been through in the past month or so, she's not prepared to go ahead and just take that, standing still. When you put your hands on somebody, you answer back in kind, and you make sure that they can't put your hands back on you ever again if you
Fair
intend on
enough.
leaving them alive. So,
Mm.
she is going to throw a punch.
As you throw the punch, there is a big crowd as everyone seems to kind of back away really quickly, but that warm sensation that you were feeling seems to be getting more hot, more persistent as you're pissed. Like you were pissed before and you
Hmm.
understand like almost intrinsically that this man wasn't trying to hit you. He had more nefarious things on his mind. You've heard and seen a few episodes of special victims units where not exactly a person trying to force himself on you, but definitely a case of sexual harassment. So,
Oh, then we've upgraded from a simple fist fight to I'm going to send him out of here unrecognizable.
fair enough. As the train doesn't seem to be moving, you feel another flash of heat as you wail into him, and then you feel your body changing, contorting. Are
Uh,
you snarling as
can I roll something to realize what's going on? Or do I know?
given your backstory? You've heard stories of it, but being that you're in the thick of it now, it's all a rush. It's coming entirely too quickly.
She's just gonna grab him. Like, how messed up is he at this point?
Oh, he's bleeding at this point, and everyone is like frantic. Phones are coming out.
She's just gonna grab him by the neck, and she's just gonna whisper to him as she kind of feels, I'm guessing, like her teeth popping.
Yeah,
She's just going to whisper, "You condemned everybody in this car to death."
and as you say that, you remember very faintly a scream. You're not sure if it was yours or his, but then everything goes black.
Mm-hmm.
Switch over to Olaf and Dives and Dumpsters, or our resident other Philodox, another bonar. Olaf.
I've in dumpsters. I'm automatically getting another deed name. Great.
No,
I
as when
get
I
this
looked at
both
it, I
rounds,
just saw
so
Dives and Dumpsters. Sorry, but stairs for hours. Fair enough. um, you two would have gotten, especially Olaf, would have gotten word from the water that a kinfolk was on its way from Chicago by way of the bus, and that she will either be on the A or the E train, coming up down, going towards Uptown. As you guys sort of are making your way down into the subway, if I can take that liberty, guys. Yeah.
It's a sensible
sure.
liberty to take.
Okay. You.
Stairs for hours. Would have said to Olaf before they got to that point,
Mhm.
because he's really paranoid. He would have suggested he'll tail a little bit behind Olaf because let me just double check, or my sentence is actually nonsensical. But wait, Olaf. Does Olaf not have any pure breed?
Not a shred. He has a reputation.
Okay,
That's
that's
about all
fine.
he's
I'm
got
just
going
walking
for him.
alongside you then. If you had pure breed, he'd actually tail a little bit further back because the CCs of people with pure breed stick out more for black spiral dancers to jump, and then he could jump them, counterattacking, because he's paranoid. But no, you don't have pure breed, so you don't stick out like
Nope.
that.
Wait a second. You don't.
Nope.
I was just surprised as anybody else.
Seriously.
You approved my sheep, brah.
What the fuck? Anyway, I was just like, he has. No, really? All right, fair enough. Could have sworn who? Never mind. Anyway, um, as you guys make your way down, you see the train pull in, and there is a screech as you hear screaming as the sides of the train car are dented outwards, and there are tremendous swatches of blood, gore, viscera, body parts all around. The first car, everyone is running out, but it seems that the first 5 cars, I want to say, are completely is incomprehensible.
Crime mask.
Heidi,
Mm-hmm.
at this point, you wake up and you feel something warm, wet, and fleshy in your mouth.
Gross. Heidi, for her part, will if it tastes bad, she's just gonna spit it out immediately.
Uh, you spit out what looks to be the lower parts of somebody's jaw as it hits the ground in a clunk.
So covered in blood, clothes ripped to shreds,
Yes,
effectively naked.
you're effectively naked.
Um, she is gonna start looking for her backpack rather frantically and her bag.
Roll me a fate dice.
Boom.
It seems when you kind of hulked out, your bag flew to the opposite side of the car,
Mm-hmm.
the one you're currently standing in, and through what looks to be someone's scalp, arm piece, pelvis, there's your bag underneath what seems to be someone's rib cage.
She's gonna grab her bag, sort of just jank the rib cage off of it, and she's gonna grab the two items and sort of drag them out onto the platform.
As you start dragging the items on like the platform, um, Olaf and our resident Bonar, I'll get used to your name. Just give it a second. Stairs for hours. You see what, for those of you who are old enough to know what the Stephen King novelization and later motion picture of Carrie looks like, you see, oh, Caucasian woman exiting the car covered in blood.
Ah, fucking shit. And
Caucasian woman with pure breed. I'm taking off my jacket.
you gentlemen. Olaf runs up. Not out here in the fucking car.
She's gonna look up. Oli,
In the fucking car. Now, get some clothes on.
I'm covered in blood.
It doesn't
He's
matter.
Stairs is just putting the jacket around her and just trying to guide her back into the car.
She's gonna grab the blackest pair of sweatpants she can find and put them on. And does the jacket have a hood?
I'm going what's in the picture.
She's going to ask for your hat, please.
Fuck, give it to her. She's covered in blood. She needs some more details.
Yeah. She'll put the hat on over her bloody hair. And she doesn't say another word, she just moves.
Yeah. Olaf, for his part, tries his best to look like some happy bystander who's helping this young woman. I mean, look at her. She just came out of this horrible thing. But I mean, what a fucking Samaritan helping this poor woman.
Stairs just looks at her and says, "You're injured," and then he's actually just picking her up because she's still. People are going to look if they're going to see blood, or people from the area. You know the idea if he's carrying her and she's bleeding a little bit, people are going to
That's going to be the cause of the blood, they're going to think, maybe. Is she stopping him from lifting her up?
Nope. Not at all.
Also,
He can carry
she's
her.
traumatized as fuck and doesn't know what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. He is remaining as passive as possible at this point.
Someone make me a perception alertness. Div 7.
Would the speciality eyes in the back of his head count?
Yes. There would not be a more applicable time.
2.
Nope.
That's unfortunate. Ket,
Olaf's got it though.
Olaf,
2.
that is just a simple failure, I believe. For Olaf, however, you hear footsteps. Like rather hurried footsteps. Coming from the way you came. And lots of shouting.
Ah, fuck, it's the fuzz. Down the other way, quick.
Is everyone attempting to hide at this point?
I'm not sure if it's hiding or just outright we're trying to run.
You tell me. What you do next decides what happens next.
Is there any other ways out other than, I don't think there's any other ways out other than the
Only
door
way
we
out
came.
Bathroom?
Somebody make me a perception alertness.
Actually, you know what? I might, can nobody see us?
Not yet.
I'm just gonna, it's pretty obvious what's happened here. I'm gonna look at Olaf and say sideways, and I'm just gonna, if we step sideways and are out of here, we're not gonna have to answer any awkward questions.
Yeah, are we in the view of the subway's
That's right.
cameras at this point?
Okay.
That would be a perception. I'll give you a perception alertness. Div 7.
Okay.
I got 3.
You don't know if these cameras work or that they don't work, but there seems to be 2 as per security. Since there's a booth right there, they kind of have to have security to make sure that the tellers aren't mugged. However, with the amount of successes for the perception alertness, there is a bathroom.
Bathroom.
Yeah, I'll just go to the bathroom.
You guys make your way into the bathroom. There seems to be a scantily clad woman with booty shorts. Seems she's paying someone a favor. And you seem to have stopped a transaction.
Out!
They scream. He's like, what the fuck? Sensing the rage of numerous people here, he immediately shits himself and leaves.
Olaf looks at Heidi. Well, quick fucking lesson. Look in the mirror, part the veil, go across.
Got it. Just gonna look at the mirror, and if I'm allowed to, I will spend a point of gnosis. If not, I will roll it.
I was just gonna
Actually,
drag
somebody roll a fate die. This is New York City, and mirrors, it's not a classy place, baby.
Hey!
Look at that. You found the one intact mirror in New York City. Seems like nobody's been shanked or, stabbed or in this particular bathroom. So,
Before the dawn. Makes miracles.
it's dirty, it's dingy, but there's if you kind of spit on it, run some water, you could maybe shimmy a reflection.
Heidi is going to move her foot a bit to the left so she doesn't step on the used condom, and she just grabs a wad of paper towels and wets it underneath the sink, and then does the little circle motion.
As you do the circle motion, since you did not like wash your hands and you're still covered in like blood and viscera, there's now water, blood, and dirt smeared on the mirror.
What the fuck?
Olaf!
Olaf does it.
After a while of just cleaning the mirror, there's a reflection.
Spending a point of gnosis.
I'd rather you roll it.
Alright, I'm gonna roll my gnosis.
Can I spend a point of gnosis?
Sure, this is her first time.
Okay.
Would you look at that?
Or would you look at that? So, I guess desperation does it to everybody. So, yeah.
I'll just spend the point.
Fair enough.
It's really